Alright, well, today's video, we're going to work back on this old fine Chevy half-ton. So you guys let me have it in the comments about this door. See you win. I'm going to pull the trim off, just kind of scuff it up, and then I'll probably paint a little bit of black on the kind of rough corners and stuff like that. I'm not even going to do much. I'm just going to scuff it. I'm not going to fix anything. Fog it black, let that dry, and then do a real shoddy job of masking, because I hate doing that, and paint it green. And I'll probably do a little bit of the cab corner and all that, the back of the cab, and I might blow in just into the front of the fender, so it kind of has that flow and match. And then if I want, I can scuff up everything the whole way back and kind of go from there. The other thing I was going to do is, I think I have some, but boiled linseed oil. I was thinking I might protect the paint, the patina on this thing, and kind of bring back some of the color and see if it kind of levels itself out. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or not 100%. We'll get started on this door, and yeah, we'll see where this video goes. So there we have it. Sure looks like we're going backwards to go forwards here, but so all I do is I just kind of scuff the door as you saw. I paint a little bit of black on where I think I'm going to try and sand through. I took a picture of it so I know where the black's going to be, and then I masked off the window. That's probably the most masking I've done in years. I hate masking, but I had this paper left over from when I did the box on the other side. So that's that. I might run a little masking around here, but it's probably easier to clean up with filler or thinner when I'm done. Blender that way, blender that way, shoot her up around there, and then wait. So pretty simple. I still got 2 cans left, well, a can and a half, so I'm hoping I'll get most of it done. I did want to keep some as a spare just in case, because when you get it kind of custom tinted, it's kind of a one-time shot. So we'll get going again, see what happens. So the door's painted. The paint's still all kind of wet, so I gotta let it set up before I do any sort of messing around with it. Obviously, so I was very lazy and didn't mask any of that, and I just kind of sprayed everything over. But simple solution for that: thinner on a rag, and you can just clean it right off. I find this much easier than masking because I'm lazy. But I'll let that kind of go for a little bit. I did do up just in the kind of the edge a little bit where it rolled over. I'll just kind of scuff all that in and whatnot. And then, I mean, really you can unmask it right now. Real carefully, like. Right. And there you go. So, definitely kind of a different color. It does flatten out a little bit when it dries, but it does have a pile of metallic in it, so that's always the concern. Trying to match metallics is a nightmare at the best times, little when you're trying to match like a miscellaneous 50-year-old metallic, because I mean the truck itself just looks, it's a different color there, then there, then there, then there, so who knows. But I'm gonna let this dry for, I'll probably give it a couple hours, and then I'll come back and I like to just take the rag with some thinner, just kind of go over the rough bits, kind of drag it, and you can see where this door is all beat up. I'll probably get in there as well, because I didn't do any sanding or anything to it. Yeah, I'll be back at it in a little bit. So there's the paint. As you can see, it's super shiny, but it's you know, kind of dry to the touch. It's definitely still soft. You can put your fingernail in it, but my patience are over. So here's what I do. I take just a kind of shop rag with some thinner on it, and you don't want it sopping wet, just so it's kind of moist, and I just kind of drag it on the edges. I'm sure you guys have seen me do this in kind of fast motion a few times, and as you kind of go across, it takes the shine down, just kind of brings the black out. Now you absolutely can do this wet sanding or whatever with some fine grit sandpaper. I don't have the patience for that, and ultimately I can't be bothered to care enough. So I just kind of do this. It'll kind of come off. Now the only thing I do recommend is if you're going to do that and you're going to then hit it again, because what I'm going to do is once I get it down to enough undercolor showing, I will hit it with a Scotch-Brite. But I don't know if it'll show up, but it's still kind of wet with some of the thinner. If you hit it with the Scotch-Brite while it's still, before it's flashed off, you'll have issues. So you got to do all that, kind of get what you like, let it evaporate. It only takes a few minutes, and then you can scuff it up with the Scotch-Brite. So I'll put you on the tripod, and we'll get this door beat up a little bit. Okay, so I put the trim back on, just so I'm not kind of stressing stuff that's pointless, and go around it. So you can kind of see where I did use a little bit of thinner. It's kind of still wet. It's got that kind of shine to it. So let that all kind of evaporate off. They do come off. It comes out pretty quick, so it doesn't look like a whole lot. The top here is actually kind of not too bad. So you just kind of barely see the black, but you just hit it a little bit, and it brings it right out. So you're kind of doing 80% of the work with the thinner, and then you just kind of, whatever you see, you just want to do a little more, you just give it a once over, and it kind of brings it out, and it takes the color right down, because it takes the shine and all that away. So that's it. So I did just any hard edge. I did where it's going to blend to the rest of the truck all around there, so I can kind of scuff that up. And I haven't touched where it goes in yet, so that's just one of those things, same thing. You can probably see it kind of speckled. Just real lightly kind of hit it, and you'll just kind of take the shine away. And then you'll just kind of bleed in from that color into that color. And then now you kind of hit the door. This is still a little bit tacky, but kind of gives you the old idea of it. And that's how it's going to go. So it's definitely a different color, but it does kind of fade in, and then there you go. So I'll give that kind of more, the longer you go and all that, the better it'll be. And here I probably actually could take it down a little bit more, because it's probably black under there, just like the hood and all that. So I might fight that out as well, that I can carry the black all the way back into the door, and then I could even do the truck bed as well if I really wanted to. That's that. Otherwise, I cleaned up around the gas, filled a little gasket there with some thinner. I cleaned the trim up a little bit. So that's that. So I'm going to let this kind of set up for a little bit longer, because when you're sanding it, you really want the paint a little bit harder. And that's it. So again, probably another hour from now, and I'll be able to finish this door right up. All right, it's been a couple hours. So you can see the door is kind of flattened out a little bit. So everything looks pretty much good to me. I don't know how it's going to show up, but right about there you can see where the blend kind of ends. So now I'm just going to kind of scuff it all up, do my thing, and let it wear in. It's obviously not perfect, but here back matches, and then it's actually not as terrible. But we'll do that. We'll let that all kind of set up overnight, but in the meantime, probably later on tonight, I can go around and do a little linseed oil, maybe just on a few spots. So I'll do the old kind of patina part of the truck and see what it does to it, what it does to a color, and if it mangles it, then I won't carry on. But otherwise, my hope is it'll kind of level out the whole truck, bring a little bit of shine to the old stuff. I mean, this is all just kind of rusting up top, same thing. Might darken that up a little bit, bring back a little bit of shine, get some of the dirt out of it, and then it'll all flow together a little nicer. I put on the center caps because I got bored. And the other thing I did, you guys were beating me up, paint the door. I took a little mirror off. So there you go. Come on, you guys got 2 wins. That's worth a subscribe to the channel for sure. But I'll set you up on the tripod. We'll get beating up that door and yeah, see what turns out. Alright, I'm back at her. So I kind of backed the garage over, or the truck over in the garage, I should say. So I'm going to let that set up. Let it dry kind of overnight so it's hardened right up. So you can definitely tell there is the color difference, but better than it was, so I'm happy with it. The next thing I'm going to kind of show you guys, I've done this before in a different video, but this is kind of like how you would protect hot rod patina or whatever it may be. It's boiled linseed oil. So you kind of do this, once a year when I was doing it. I don't keep cars long enough, I guess. So what it's going to do, I'll just kind of show you. So I ended up doing here, I did the back of the door and then the cab corner, just so these kind of join. So this is obviously kind of painted, and that's the factory. And that's what it did look like. And it turns into this. So I got a little on the rag here. Let's kind of show you. So it just kind of blends together. And then it magically kind of makes it look nice. So I'm hoping if I do that, and then if I even do the bed a little, it'll just kind of bring this color out a little bit. So it won't look as weathered, so it'll match the back. So it's real simple. You don't need very much. This stuff's like $10 for a liter. Merely just kind of put a little bit on. You end up just kind of wiping it around. And you just kind of wipe it off. Very, very simple. But it protects the finish. It'll bring back a little bit of shine. It'll kind of bring out the blacks and whatever else you kind of want, or the undertones, I should say. Just kind of make it look a little nicer and go from there. So I'm gonna get started. I think all I'm gonna do is probably the cab and and the hood and stuff like that, make it look a little bit better. It's great on the actual rust itself. It'll darken it up, but it will kind of protect it a little bit, so it won't get any worse than it is. So get you on the tripod, start doing this. It'll probably take me a while. We'll do one half, see what it kind of looks like, and hopefully it's worth all the labor. So I figured I'd show you this little corner here. So I don't know how the hood will show up. It looks okay in the camera here, but you can see a lot more black came through than this. And you can see it's got just a little bit of shine, so the light does go all the way across. So it's not like you're polishing it, you're just kind of cleaning it up a little bit. And then back here, so this is what that kind of rust looks like, and it goes all the way across the cowl. And it really just darkens it up. And then along here, hopefully it showed up decent on the fast motion, but the black really came through a little bit. And now, when you go back here, so the fender and the door and the fender, I should say, so they were kind of the same paint, but you can see how it's all kind of oxidized and all kind of mangled. And I stopped right at the fender. So it looks, a little better, a little bit shinier. The black there doesn't have it. So that's what that does. Pretty simple, protects it, kind of gives it a little sheen to it. I like it just because it brings out some of the, you know, the undertones and the hard lines and all that. So I can get that all taken care of. I'll probably do the whole truck. The roof, like I said, it'll really darken up a fair bit, but yeah, keeps it looking like this longer. So it's pretty simple, pretty cheap. I'll get right back to it. So there it is. I got the cab all kind of dealt with. I cleaned the glass up. I did do the one box side there, so it blends not too bad. I didn't do the other side from the door back. Just this is kind of pretty new. I mean, this is obviously I just did it today, so before I go too crazy. But you can see where I did kind of go over right there. So it'll blend in, and it'll look like it's gonna look. I'm happy with the roof there, kind of darkened everything up, which I like that look. So I guess if you don't like bringing the undertones up, don't do this. But I do like the way this looks. It does protect it, so you can see all the black kind of coming through and whatnot. Now you can clean the chrome up and all that. But I think that's it for now. These rags, this linseed oil, this stuff can just spontaneously combust if you put it in the garbage. So I always soak it in water before I toss it out, because you never know. But that's it for tonight. I'm gonna let that set up. I'll probably deal with that tomorrow, finish up the video, and go from there. So subscribe to the video right now so we don't have to at the end. See you guys tomorrow. What's going on, guys? So it's actually been a few days since I've been out in the garage. I was over at Brent's place working on the tea a little. So that's where we left it. We kind of had the truck all shined up. I had backed in the corner and it dumped tranny oil on the ground. So I quit being so lazy, jacked it up. Turns out I actually had the transmission line was just loose because I'm an idiot. But now I should be able to start messing with this door a little bit. Because where I left it, it was kind of still soft. But I'm hoping I can go ahead and just kind of do a little more of that linseed oil on it. So I really like the way the rest of the truck turned out. Darken it all up, give it a little bit of a shine. Ended up picking up some tail lights. Another video I did a little thing on that, but what one was it? Another tail light in it, marker light. So it's really coming together as a truck. I'm pretty happy with it. Again, it needs to be kind of driven around, get a little dirty, do a few things, and kind of blend it all together. But it's getting there. Switch it up on the tripod. We'll get the other side all dialed. And it's time to get this thing out of here because I think the tea is coming home. Alright, well I backed her out. Hardly any transmission oil dripping out of it, so I must have fixed it. There it is. That's what she looks like now. I'm pretty stoked on it. And it turned out pretty good. Just need a couple of the speed clips, wherever it is, for the one reflector. I don't know. It's hard to tell because the sun's kind of hitting in a bunch of different ways. It's getting kind of late here. I think it turned out really good, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's got a bit of a funny thing. It's kind of got a mist to it every now and again, so I've got to go double check some grounds. And the crank sensor was all mashed when I got it, so I might just put a new one on just cuz. But otherwise, I think it's time to give it a little test drive, see how much I like it, and go from there. Well, that's it for now. That's it for this video. Hopefully you guys liked it. You got your green door, you got the mirror off, and there's no hood scoop on it, so it's a triple win. So leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and yeah, we'll see if this is the next video or if we start working on the T.